It's semi-final time here at Ebbw Vale as Premiership heavyweights Merthyr take on Championship champions Pontypool. Win and it's easy. They find themselves in the final come the end of the month at the Principality and only 80 minutes away from lifting that historic cup. Yes, the end of the season is upon us and there's some silverware to be won, and these Pontypool fans, well, they're getting greedy, as are some former club greats, including this man, Graham Price. Now, the Ironmen, well, they did the double last year and are on course to do it again this season. But they can't celebrate yet. Oh no, because Pontypool have dreams of their own double. Having already won the championship, the aim tonight is to secure their first cup final since 1991 and relive the good old days. Unbeaten in 19 with Premiership ambitions, Coach Leighton Jones says they've forgotten how to lose. Well, Merthyr tonight will want to remind them. So here we are then, confirmation of tonight's fixture, Merthyr taking Pontypool on in the cup semi-final. And this is what they're playing for tonight. Both clubs have only won it once in their history. I wonder, will one of them be celebrating come the end of the season? We're going to look after it. It's going back in the box, safe and sound. There we go. The company this evening, Ashton Hewitt and Andrew Coombs as well. And Andrew, Pontypool, such an historic club. You must be like a kid on Christmas morning as a former Pontypool player yourself.
Yeah, I'm very excited for this one. It's great to see Pontypool at this stage of the season. And just for me personally, the late Steve Jones was coach at the time. He's actually father of the current Pontypool coach, Leighton. And they give me an opportunity to play in the Premiership when no other club was willing to do so. So for me personally, hold a big place in my heart for Pontypool. And as I said, it's just fantastic to see them get to the semi-final. For the last 2 years, they've made it to the quarters. Let's hope they can get to the final.
We'll wait and see. Merthyr favourites for this one. Is it David versus Goliath, or can Pontypool do this?
I'm sure a lot of people will see it that way. You know, Merthyr are on a big roll at the moment, and you can't forget you can't forget the quality and Premiership experience that Pontypool have in their team. So they're not going to be an easy win. No,
they're not indeed. Andrew, we know, don't we, what Merthyr are going to bring to this. They've got great backs, they've got a good pack as well. What are Pontypool going to bring, and who should we be really watching out for?
Well, firstly, Pontypool have based their season on physicality. That's how they've won the championship, and they're not going to go about their business any different today. They're going to want to impose themselves on this game. They're going to want to get in Merthyr's face, and they'll be looking to players like Aaron Cownley, who said Prop, who's played for the Dragons. Scotty Matthews playing 6. He's played for the Dragons. You know, Aaron Cownley's he's a formidable scrummager, and he's going to try and put pressure on Merthyr's set piece today. That's going to be a massive area for them. We look at the back line. You know, we've got Lloyd Lewis, who's also got experience with the Dragons. Ashton will know Lloyd Lewis very well.
Yeah, so he's a couple of years younger than me. I played with him a couple of times. I've trained with him plenty. He's been away with the Sevens on a couple of circuits, and that's really added to his natural attributes. So I think it'll be a very dangerous one tonight if he gets the ball in hand.
We will watch out for those players. One thing we do know is that whoever wins this match this evening, they will be playing Cardiff in the final. They earlier beat Llandyfri at the Knoll, 35-17 the final score. Ed Howley with this try for Cardiff. Some celebrations for Steve Law and the team this evening, I'm sure. Congratulations to them. Well, let's concentrate a bit then on Pontypool. Such a historic club, as we've already mentioned. 28 years since they were last in the final, 36 years since they lifted that cup. I wonder, can this side rewrite the history books?
I doubt whether there's ever been a crowd like this to see a club fixture here at Pontypool Park.
Pooler, formed of ferocious forwards, Faulkner, Price, Windsor, Perkins, Butler, high priests of the ruck, maul and scrummage, and of course, the Bishop and the Squire.
Pooler win the cup, listen to their supporters.
Now, time for new heroes.
The history of Pontypool, you know, goes without saying, everyone knows about that, and like how the crowds used to be up on the banks and whatnot, and this place used to be filled, and I was brought up on that, obviously being a Pontypool boy and living not too far from here. So yeah, there's a lot of history, and you know, most of us know a bit about it.
You know, these boys are working in Pontypool, they're walking the streets of Pontypool, and they're bumping into the fans, and it is a real togetherness here now for the rugby. You know, we're on a positive run in the league. We're having a pop in the cup, so you know everyone's really excited for it. So we're all in this together here.
It's a semi-final and we've not been in one for so long. I think 1991, and the fact that the challenges don't come much bigger in terms of club rugby than Merthyr being reigning champions. I think the general perception is that they will start as favourites, and that's nice for us in terms of a psyche of going in and perhaps not putting that much pressure on ourselves, and having perhaps the pressure put on the opposite team for once. And it's something that we can enjoy and just have a good go and see what happens.
It's a bit more now. It's not just for the team, the squad. It's for the town now. So the boys are really relishing the opportunity to go out there and make the town proud of them.
We've done really well to get this far. Effectively, we shouldn't be even competing with these Premiership teams, but you know we've done well the last couple of years and you know knocked a couple of them out on our cup runs. And Merthyr being, if not the best club team in Wales at the moment, it's a great opportunity for us, and we're just going to go out and play, and hopefully, who knows, get a result.
Yes, some great memories there. I wonder, are they going to create some more today? Right, let's hear from Merthyr coach Dale McIntosh. He's with Phil Steele.
Well, Dale, big occasion for the Pontypool today, your opponents. Put your rugby man's hat on first. How good is it to see a club like Pontypool with all their history back in the big time?
Oh, tremendous. Like, you just talk about ex-Welsh legends, you know, and a lot of them were from Pontypool. I came over here because of a guy named Gudden Jenkins and Kerry Jones. And when I came over, Gudden was actually hooking for Pontypool at the time, and the first thing he did was chuck me in his car and take me up to Pontypool, you know, up to Pontypool Park. And I remember watching Pontypool against the All Blacks that year when Dean Oswald, who's a great friend of mine, was involved. And, you know, they were just a magnificent club, and the aura that surrounded them, you know, and, you know, it's tremendous for them now to be first and foremost in this stage of the competition and hopefully in the Premiership next year.
Now then, that was then, this is now. You're the favourites today. How are you going to cope with that expectation?
Look, just as we normally do, just give the opposition as much respect as they deserve. It's all about kind of sticking to our systems and policies. It's all about being smarter than them, but we've also got to be streetwise. You know, our discipline in the past has been poor in relation to tactical and technical stuff, so we need to sort that out. But there's going to be a lot of emotion today, you know, especially from Pontypool, who's quite renowned for their physicality, you know, and perhaps the way in which they try and kind of rub up the opposition. So we've got to kind of control our emotion as well. We've got to make sure we got 15 men left on the pitch, and we've got to make sure that we play the smarter rugby.
Enjoy it.
Thank you very much, Phil. Yes, some lovely words there from the chief about Pontypool. Andrew, about the game, they seem to know what to expect from Pontypool this afternoon.
Of course they do. Pontypool have never been any different. You know, they're physical players, they like to mix it up, and they are going to try and intimidate Merthyr today. They're going to try and take it to the line and then step back off it. Leighton Jones, the coach, done it all his career. You know, he really did impose himself on the game, and he'll be looking for his players to do the same today.
Well, look, I think we can go inside the changing rooms and hear exactly what's being said just before kick-off.
Our ethos today, okay, which is our habit, our good habit, is team first. Team first. I'm going to keep saying it, team first. All right? I know there's some hard boys in this team, guys, all right? Okay? You don't have to prove that to us. You don't have to prove it to yourself. Okay?
Today is all about you as an individual, yeah? For the last couple of years, yeah, boys have been here, for the new boys coming in, you have always, yeah, put a shift in. You've always done yourself proud, yeah? This is a semi-final of a cup, yeah? We have to go out there and do ourselves proud. We have to stick to what's being said, but do yourself proud, yeah? Do your families proud.
Yeah, two very different changing rooms. As the teams come out, very quick predictions. Who are going to take this?
I'm going to stick with Merthyr. I think they're going to win it.
Andrew?
Even the best fall down sometimes, Kat. You know, anything can happen out here as a cup game. All Pontypool need is some big 50-50 calls from the officials. You know, they get a little bit of luck and they're in this game.
There we are. Andrew, thanks very much. Off we go then and join commentary. A place in the final at stake. Waiting for us, Richard Rees and Nick Webb.
Thank you very much indeed. So it's the leaders of the Premiership against the Championship winners. Pontypool against Merthyr. Pontypool in those oh-so-familiar colours that they've worn over the years. Craig Locke is the Merthyr captain this evening. And Merthyr making just one change from their quarter-final win over Pontypool. Jake Thomas for Hemi Barnes at blindside flanker. Locke, one of plenty with years of Premiership experience. Gareth Davis, Adam Thomas, Matthew Jarvis, they've all played regional rugby. And in contrast, Pontypool, the winners of the championship, go heavily on youth, 6 of them 22 or under, including young fly half Matthew Lewis, who stands in for the injured player coach, Matthew Jones. Former Dragons prop Aaron Coundley leading them out. Regular captain Rob Nash not fit to start. Referee this evening is Mike English of Caldecott. He was in charge when Merthyr beat Pontypool in the quarter-final last year by 21 points to 6.
Okay, gents, give him his kick. Happy green. Time on.
So Matthew Lewis to get us underway, and Pontypool playing down the valley towards the clubhouse in this first half. As Merthyr take just outside their 22, and Rhys Downs prepares to put it away, but he hasn't got any distance at all on that kick.
Play on, 9 has kicked it, play on.
No offside, says Mr. English, and Merthyr back in possession. Trying to hit it up and create a bit more space, but Pontypool get the early penalty, and that's just what this noisy travelling support wanted for the underdogs. Richie Rees.
Yeah, superb start for Pontypool. It was a combination of Darren Hughes and Scott Matthews, both ex-Cross Keys players actually. They went a little bit further up the valley and ended up at Pontypool. It was a cracking start. It's all come from a poor box kick from Rhys Downs at 9. There was no penalty because actually the kicker caught it. Yes, the players should have retreated, but the referee, Mike English, allowed the game to play on. It's allowed the young 10. Here it is. It's Darren Hughes, Scott Matthews with the early chop tackle. Darren Hughes just over the top. Superb body position. It's just Jake Thomas just falls off the clean, unfortunately for Merthyr, but it gives Matthew Lewis, the youngster, a 10, the general who Pontypool will want. Really pulling the strings for them this afternoon. An early chance at 3 points.
He's got 61 points to his credit in all competitions this season, deputising for Matthew Jones, once capped by Wales. Here's Lewis. Pushed it wide. 0-0 still, and an early chance missed by Pontypool to put a marker down.
So he's a very talented player. As Matthew's got a decent tactical kicking game on him. So from a Pontypool perspective now, we've just got to keep on top of him. The odd bum tap or two, make sure the encouragement is there for him.
The restart. Lloyd Lewis didn't get to it. I think that went straight out.
Johnny, was it touched? Knock on into touch. Okay, you've got the option. Scrum or line it? Line, is it? We'll have line it.
Line out, says Aaron Coundley.
That is yours. Lovely. You stay there.
Yeah, interesting decision from Coundley. He obviously knows, he expects the strength in this Merthyr game is going to be at scrum time, so he's decided to go for a nice early line out.
Yes.
Towards the tail, Pontypool take it, quick away to Lewis. Kieran Meek trying to pull it down the centre. Pontypool will get a bit of early go-forward ball from them break Ben Sparks.
Your hand there, White!
It's a poor pass from Quick at the base.
Last feet green.
Pontypool retaining possession. No nerves, well, why should there be? They've already beaten Bridgend and Cross Keys in this competition. Curtis Gregory taking the tackle in midfield, but Merthyr get the penalty this time.
Thank you, gents.
Yeah, great work. Phil Rees over the ball there. But I was watching Pontypool in the warm-up. Yep. They've got a tendency off starter play to get really now. All 8 forwards chase the ball, and they hold no one towards the 15. So they're very susceptible to turnover ball, particularly at width. And in doing so, they limited the options for Merthyr Lewis hitting up. He had to hit up Gregory. He got isolated in the carry. And there's the turnover. Here's the line-up for Merthyr. Just for see Phil Rees biding his time. It's a good tackle. Again, I think it's Jake Thomas, and there he is. Phil Rees just the timing in over the ball.
He's there. On your front man.
Merthyr taking their time to arrive. If you spotted 24 on the Pooler side, by the way, that's the regular number 4, Danny Hodge. Taken though by Merthyr's 4, Ben Murphy.
Okay, leave it, come now, don't kill it.
Blues Academy
there. Wait.
Prospect with the headband there. Merthyr taking their time. Pooler watching them coming. All a little bit messy on that halfway line. Merthyr just edging forward. Lock with the carry.
Okay, boys, thank
Away
you.
from Downs again. Will they put width on this one? Pinches out to Jarvis. Chance for G. The kick and chase. And that sits up beautifully. And Merthyr strike with their first attack of the game after just 5 minutes.
Yeah, just all looked too easy, but the key point of this is watch Garrett Walsh. He's your 15 for Pontypool. He comes into that front line to make that last tackle. Terry G has spotted it. You're going to ask defensively, you're asking an awful lot of Jordan Thompson left wing, but here it is, the last man coming up and he's shot there. Garrett Walsh, Terry G spotted it and he's just put the kick over the top, and it's just all too easy so early on for Merthyr, just over 5.5 minutes in, but there he is, Garrett Walsh taking your last man. You're asking your blindside winger defensively, Jordan Thompson, to do an awful lot of work. He hasn't got time to get there. And it's a perfect start that Merthyr have after.
Terry G, one of the try scorers against Pontypridd a couple of weeks ago, also before the scrum 5 cameras. And this is Matthew Jarvis with the conversion attempt. Former Ospreys and Connacht player. Jarvis up towards the cricket ground, ends. Looks good, it is good, it's 7-0, and it's the green and yellow of Merthyr in the ascendancy at the moment.
Yeah, it's a great start for Merthyr. One visit into that Pontypool 22, and they've come away with 7 points, but that's exactly what Pontypool can't afford to do this afternoon. Give away cheap territory, cheap penalties, and be so ineffective communication-wise defensively.
Terry Morgan G, the try scorer, as Matthew Lewis restarts. Merthyr
Don't change now.
Comfortably. Try a little forward drive to test out the championship leaders. Of course, we'll be playing off for a place in the Premiership next season against whoever finishes 12th in the top division. As things stand, that is Llanelli.
Wait.
Downs has it.
Use.
Better length on that kick. Underneath it, number 8, Sparks. The chase is good from Merthyr. Quick trying to organise things behind. Matthew Lewis trying the Gary Owen. Lloyd Lewis couldn't get to it. Could be a chance for Jarvis to counter-attack then. Held up by Meek on halfway.
Tackle away now, White. Wait.
Merthyr recycle. Downs to Rhys Williams. Away from Gareth Davis.
Attack again, Darren Hughes. Now he's a talisman for Pontypool.
Pontypool trying to hold up, and they get the reward of the put into the scrimmage.
Yeah, they just need to be patient, Merthyr. The issue they had there, they had 4 forwards outside the 10, Gareth Davis, and no back attack, so they have to go front line. Darren Hughes spotted that, has won the collision.
Time is off.
Against number 8, Phil Rees.
Receiving treatment.
He's got the turnover.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely 2 players in that pack for Pontypool.
Darren
Darren Hughes, we mentioned him already,
James,
as Scott Matthews, scavengers on the floor.
Time is on.
So any turnover opportunity, they'll be all over it, but they're decent the tackle contest as well. It's just now how the half-backs for Pontypool, Quick and Lewis, manage them around the field and allow them to get them into the game.
Matthews with a headband on this near side of the scrum, wearing 6. He's part of the Dragons squad, was a finalist in this competition with Cross Keys back in 2014.
3 clear course, 3 clear actions.
Part of the Keys connection on the Pooler side.
There's 5 of them in total.
Equivalent to Pontyprees connection on the Merthyr side. Just go up and down the valley, you see, on both sides.
All for the love of the game, Nicholas.
You keep your shoulders square. He's going to keep his hips in. That's much better. We keep that when we go down.
Numberless for Pontypool is Craig Price. He is the tight head prop on this near side. Joe Rees on the far side is also numberless for Merthyr.
Bind. Set. Boys, stand up. We're never stable. Never stable.
Yes, Price against Howe.
Perfect, thank you.
On this side of the scrum, which we're picking up in shot. Just saw Price drop to.
Work hard on your bind.
And the nice and early as Howe backed away, but they have got issues at tight end. Pontypool have got a few injuries there.
Yeah, Ollie Hodge was injured last week, so they've got a Cardiff Mets player, Harry Seward, on the bench. And Pontypool beat Cardiff Met 41-40 last week to clinch the championship.
Crouch.
Sounds like one heck of a game, if not for the defence coaches.
Bind. Set.
Here it's Merthyr with the early strike through Terry Morgan G. Pontypool with a bit of territory, a bit of possession. Haven't made incursions so far though. Lewis on to Miko, his kick bounces kindly for Adam Thomas, but Pontypool managed to regain possession for the moment.
He's always on the ball.
Giving away the penalty.
No issues, he hasn't gone off his feet, he's always on the ball.
Yes, great work by outside centre for Merthyr, Adam Thomas. He doesn't have to allow him to get up, all he has to do is allow him to play the ball.
Yeah.
So superb timing, Adam Thomas. He's known the start play's broken down for Pontypool. They look to try and go for a little bit of territory, feed that ball through.
And straight. You keep your guys stable,
but the
straight.
accuracy just fell apart.
Much
and allowed Adam Thomas in over the ball. The outcome is Merthyr will look to drive this ball deep into the Pontypool 22.
Gareth Davis with the kick on that occasion. There's that attempted rubber through, which didn't quite work. And then Thomas, as Richie said, doing enough.
Gents.
So Merthyr was really their first attacking platform of the game. Their try was from around about halfway. Merthyr line out ball. They've got the roll on up towards the 22-metre line.
Keep going.
It's impressive work from the green shirts until Rhys Downs just couldn't hold on to it.
Yeah, I think it was Cowley in on that defensive work of the driving line out. Just got a little bit scrappy. The ball came out, got isolated a little bit. Did Rhys Downs as he tried to pull away from that driving line. I was just forced to knock on. Here's just the ball head of Cowley. I think he's just got his left arm in there. It's excellent. Excellent work by Cowley.
Cute. Not that scrum halves will agree.
Not coming in and going straight away.
Frustrating, I call that, Nicholas.
Mark, gent, stand up. The mark is inside. You take a step back. You come up to the line. You are inside. That's why I've moved them 9.
Reminder that Cardiff beat Llandudno by 35 points to 17 at Nice this afternoon. And you'll be able to see highlights of that at half-time in this match if you want to time your half-time cuppa.
Bind.
Quick, one of the few old heads in this back line, along with Geraint Walsh, the full-back, but Pooler front row under pressure, and Merthyr with the penalty chance.
Yeah, this time it's gone against that guy who won them the Scrum's gone against Cowley. Hinged early to deck. Referee Mike English. So this is an interesting conversation now between Gareth Davis and Phil Rees and Craig Lock. Where are they going to go? They're going straight to the corner. They're really looking to turn the screw now, Merthyr.
That's adventurous. Could have been a reasonably easily 3 points.
Yeah, just picking up the assistant referee's flag there. So Pontypool have got the win this half as well.
Looking to make the most of it then. And get a 2-score lead early on. Rhys Williams into the line-out. Won by Locke. The drive on from the Ironmen. Can Pooler resist? It's still going towards the try line. They're almost up to it. Try given. Merthyr 12 points to the good already as the pile of bodies comes up.
Yeah, I think that man James Howe, Rhys Downs was in there trying to steal the ball off him at the back of that driving line out. Well, that's got Chief written all over it. They get him in within the 5-metre line. 5 metres from that Pontypool try line. Precision, execution, little shift drive. It's a combination of Howe and Rhys Downs. Rhys Downs just tried to steal it off him, but Howe wasn't having any of it. Merthyr in for their second.
There we go, number 1, James Howe, with the added weight of a scrum half, just what he needed. Makes all the difference to a prop.
Yeah, you talk about execution, or they got into that channel in 5 metres from that Pontypool try line. They were composed, they were precise, little shift drive, and it's so difficult to stop. Do you go up on challenge, or do you stay down if you're Pontypool? Decisions have to be made on field. Excellent execution.
Jarvis pops it over. 14-0 Merthyr lead. Phil Steele.
Dale McIntosh, Merthyr coach, you've taken the sting out of the game here. How big a part of the plan was that?
Wasn't part of the plan. The truth of the matter is we went out there just to kind of start working hard and keeping it going through the phases, try to take the legs away from their bigger forwards, but we were let off the hook with the missed kick, obviously, and then we've been able just to build through the phases, and a lucky score in the first half. But in all fairness, it was very well orchestrated line-out drive, and so we're obviously happy.
Cheers, Steve.
Thank you very much, Phil.
Dale McIntosh, who optimistically is up at the end of the stands towards which Merthyr are playing, so he can enjoy their scores. Almost on the 122, away to our left, and Merthyr will try and give him a good view fairly soon, as Howe, the try scorer, led the charge. Locke almost to halfway. That's Pinches sidestepping inside Price.
Okay, I'm released there, White.
Putting the forwards on the front foot. Merthyr getting it wide now. Jake Thomas out to Jarvis. Terry G wearing 14, playing on the left. Downs to Rhys Williams.
Just losing collisions at the moment. Pontypool all over the park. They're missing tackles and losing collisions. You're allowing this Merthyr team gain line and speed of ball.
The cross kick for Kyle Evans to chase, but it's well fielded by Jordan Thomas, the teenager, on the far wing. Taps it to himself and allows Geraint Walsh to do the kicking duties. Jordan Thomas, by the way, the young winger, his parents had already booked a foreign holiday, so they're watching,
on holiday, are they?
They're watching and listening in sunny climes.
Fair play. But this is what Merthyr are doing. So James Howe's had a real lively opening first quarter of this game, both that set piece and in the open field. That's what you want, is your tight five forwards actually offering something else around the pack. So Howe has been lively, but defensively Pontypool have got to bring some more line speed.
Still inside the first quarter. The difference in class at the moment between top of the Premiership, top of the Championship. But Pontypool get a break there.
Don't go chasing after him. You've got the penalty.
They were lucky initially, I think, Merthyr, just to get away with that.
First man is entitled to it.
Decision by the referee, Mike English, that the ball had gone backwards. But again, Pontypool, as we have touched on, decent over the ball, forced the penalty. And a good kick from Merthyr Lewis.
There's the error from Pinches. Jake Thomas pouncing on it.
Scott Matthews over the ball again. It's his second turnover of the game already.
Pontypool need to get the next score, otherwise this is going to be a very long evening for them. Touch of evening sunshine, albeit a cool evening at the top of the valley. And Pontypool are on the march. Can they turn the tables on Merthyr, who've just scored their own driving maul try? They need to spin it in field. It goes Scott Matthews and Darren Hughes, and the try is given, and Pontypool get the score that the game needed to stay in contention.
Yeah, it is Scott Matthews, but that's Pontypool from 30, 40 years ago. That's what they're renowned for, relying on their big pack, their big set-piece game, and that's exactly what they've done. They've got Danny Hodge in their calling, really running that line-out system for Pontypool, and they were composed, they were precise, they were exactly what Merthyr did the other side of the field, and it's brought them right back in this game.
So Matthews with the try. Bullocking his way over. Enjoy that one in Pontypool. The kick from Merthyr Lewis.
No, but
That's just wide. Let's find out the view from Phil Steele. Who you got, Phil?
Leighton Jones, the coach of Pontypool. How badly did you need that try?
Massively, yeah. I don't think we could have made a worse start. We, few errors in our own half, and we were under the wrap a bit there, but got that penalty, a bit of territory, and back ourselves on a drive, which was massively needed from our point of view.
Rolling maul, Pontypool, that'll never catch on, will it? Keep it going.
Cheers, thanks.
Time on.
Runs in the family. His late father, Steve, was wearing the Hookers shirt the one and only time Pontypool won the cup in 1983 when they beat Swansea 18-6 in the final.
They've already got 4 in this backfield now of Merthyr, so this kick chase better be decent from Pontypool. It can't be too narrow.
Difficult catch, well executed by Matthew Jarvis. Downs to Gareth Davis. Pinches. Good break from Kyle Evans, almost. Downs back in field. There's men over. Long pass fired by Ocean Davis. Straight out to Terry G. First try scorer off the game. Craig Locke then arriving on the charge. Pontypool need to do a bit of defending there.
The standard Aaron Pinches line, he's going one way.
Route 1. Ben Murphy.
And release wide, you're never on ball.
Just see the line speed again from Pontypool. They're just not getting off that line. They've got all the time in the world, Merthyr, at the moment.
There have been occasions in the championship where Pontypool haven't been tested. They're getting a thorough examination this evening as Merthyr earn themselves another chance. Pontypool with 17 wins in the league and 2 in the cup this season.
Yeah, they're 11 points ahead of their nearest rivals, Ystrad Rhondda, but the way the pyramid, the system works in Wales is obviously the higher up the leagues, the intensity, the speed of thought, the lack of time you have on the ball all increases in value, and I think at the moment, the opening 22 minutes of this game,
24.
It's just showing that Merthyr are top of the Premiership and Pontypool just top of the Championship.
Sir.
You're entitled to your opinion,
No,
but there's a right way to go about it. Hang on.
Captain, sir. Sorry.
There's a right way to go about it.
Okay.
Do so in that way,
Okay.
please. I need you to change your
That's fine.
behaviour in the way you're speaking to me, please.
Danny Hodge just getting a
Outside, perfect. Thank you, Wayne.
little greeting from the referee.
Danny Hodge has been a nuisance for the last 12 years. He
You
isn't
take the
going to
line.
change absolutely anything now, but he's exactly the sort of guy Pontypool really need to rely on now, leading them up until half-time. Need to stay in within 10 points of this Merthyr team.
Change now.
Not sure what to make of the wind. It seems to be going different ways on different sides of the pitch at times. But Merthyr with a chance to put some air on it. Jarvis out to G. Just about held up by Geraint Walsh. Quickly recycled though. Ocean Davis on the charge, the young farmer.
Off feet, no White. Thank you.
Phil Rees adding a muscular presence.
No hands, White.
Merthyr 12
You
metres
should
out.
legs.
Gareth Davis missed past to Pinches, trying to get the inside angle, brought down by Price.
It's the first game line Pontypool, have won for the last 6 phases.
Tackle release, White.
Will allow them to get off the line this next couple of phases now.
Anyone's ball. There's chaos in there. Pontypool nick it, but to the dismay of their supporters, the referee's whistle, I think,
Gents,
is
it's an
about to give
absolute mess
Merthyr
on the floor.
a scrum.
Okay? It's accidental
just
by
because
White.
of the
It's a
injury?
scrum green ball.
It is a
Accidental.
green ball. As Joe Rees is down there.
It's just accidental. He's hit one of your players on the floor in front of him as he's played it. It's just accidental. Okay, scrum.
Explanation given to Aaron Coundley, whose
Yeah, perfect.
town supporters have done him proud this evening.
Yes, please, Sean. Time's off. Time's off.
Joe Rees in some trouble there.
Yeah, that doesn't look good for Joe Rees.
You okay? Done.
There are
not you. It's hit
some
the
of
player
those
in
Pontypool
front.
hordes who have turned large chunks of Eugene Cross Park, red, black and white.
Listen, I've spoken to you. I need to see you.
Yeah, they have got hell of a fan base. We look at the crowd, you'd think we were in Pontypool Park.
You've got a point, but you need to worry about yourself and not them. Perfect.
Referee Mike English speaking to Danny Hodge again. Just leave him alone. Don't become preoccupied with each other, player and referee.
And Merthyr having to make that substitution. Number 18 is Louis Jones. And he's on for Joe Rees.
It's not a bad caliber player to bring on though. He's played an awful lot of rugby over the last couple of seasons for Merthyr. Very, very well respected scrummager.
Time is on.
Richie Rees, a man who knows everyone in rugby in South East Wales.
Just a lover of the game, Nick. Just a lover of the game. I'd also include North Wales in that as well.
Bind.
Downs with the
Set.
attacking scrummage.
Use.
Whips it away. Gareth Davis. Adam Thomas was the dummy runner. Pinches took it up. Downs recycles quickly. Gareth Davis gets it back off Jarvis. It went forward. Relief for Pooler.
Yeah, the Pontypool fans giving the referee Mike English a little bit of stick here in the stands as well.
Okay.
Feeling they're not really having a rub of the green at the moment from him. It's the first real error I think we've seen from Merthyr. They've been very efficient in attack. Gareth Davis, obviously the ex-Blue, ex-Cardiff Blue.
Ginger in front of it today. Work hard on this elbow.
Let's go. Mikey, let's go.
Jarvis at the back.
Crouch. Bind. Set.
Quick strike needed from Darren Hughes. Merthyr with the penalty again.
He's lost his bind and gone straight down. 3.
Yes, come from the assistant referee. John
3
Hardy
wide
just
binding.
underneath us.
Straight to floor.
It's just what they didn't need, Pontypool. You can see Cowley speaking to the referee again. They're just after a chance.
I agree, but he needs to keep his bind and stay up.
Assistant referee John Hardy nearly spoiling our view between his legs, but correct call.
Rhys Williams with the throw into line out. Merthyr looking for a third try, but they won't get it quite yet because Ben Sparks, the Bathboard number 8, has got in there and pinched it.
Wait.
That's a difficult kick from the corner of the dead ball area. And he's got decent length on that, to be fair.
Yeah, it's an outstanding kick from Lewis. He was on the dead ball line. He had all the pressure on top of him. Downs was chasing him down. And he's got 35 metres, I think. He could have probably had about another 10 metres in that off the assistant referee. He was touched on the halfway line. But they're just back outside their own 22 now. Pontypool. Big defensive set coming up.
Over!
Not sure that was meant to be how it happened. How, when the try scorers took
Didn't
it
survive.
at the tail.
Wait.
Pontypool managing to slow it down. And G has got everyone to beat. And he runs straight into Sparks and Herbert.
Just keep an eye on the Pontypool line speed now. They've got to get off this line harder, otherwise Merthyr will just take the gain line every time they're carrying.
Lock the inside ball to Jones, the replacement.
No!
Lock again. Pontypool are driving them sideways at the moment. Rhys Williams just making a little headway towards the 22, but got too isolated.
Yeah, Herbert this time.
He's not affecting the
cracking work
man.
from the back row of Pontypool at the moment. Nice early chop. I think it was Scott Matthews again. It gives Herbert the time to get in over the ball. What wide base, lower the hips. Just rides the initial collision. Wins the ball and relieves a bit of pressure for Pontypool now. They just need to stay in possession of the ball in the correct area of the field. Good kick, Matthew Lewis.
There's the latest penalty at the breakdown. This time Herbert over the ball.
That ball needs to be a moving target. Wherever you fall and you're a little bit isolated.
Okay.
Now you need to move the point where the ball is to limit the chance of that turnover.
Retail.
Darren Hughes, one of the former Keys contingent in Pooler ranks. Away from Quick. Pontypool trying to break through the centre with Mahoney.
Yeah, there they are. There's that whole 8. They're all quite narrow again, Pontypool. So not going to really strike to width early.
Just on your pickup. Knock on.
Just the accuracy. I think it's the second start there. The backs coach Matthew Jones won't be particularly happy from Pontypool. It's just a little lack of clarity in roles for me. Who's carrying second, third phase?
It's probably the standard of the opposition defence as well to some extent. They did get past Bridgend and Cross Keys in earlier rounds, did Pooler. But Merthyr, top of the Premiership, are obviously giving them a lot less time and space to work in.
Yeah, there's quite clearly a difference in standard, probably within the top 4, top 5 teams in the Premiership to the rest of those below them. And Merthyr most certainly sitting pretty at the top of that with Cardiff on their heels.
Set.
2 points between them in the league. Could be they'll meet again in the cup final as well. And the Pontypool faithful delighted with that one. Merthyr making a bit of a Horlicks of it, strangely. Stardom Young.
Yeah, he saw Cowley was happy with that one, as was Darren Hewson, but good decision for me. Take the 3. He's had a good couple of kicks. Matthew Lewis in the lead up to this. Take the 3 leading up to half-time. What are we, 8? Just about 8 minutes to play on the clock. get within 7.
So Nelson-born Matthew Lewis kicked a winning drop goal in that thriller at King Coyd against Cardiff Met last week.
Yeah, he's actually apprenticed with the WRU itself, so he spends day in, day out watching, assessing, looking at rugby. So here's open.
Lewis has found the target this time to get Pontypool within a single score at 14-8.
Just a nice, clean exit Pontypool need now. Nice, clear goal. Who's taking this? And don't overplay. Just go either kick from source at 9 or one pass back to 10. And let's look to get this ball on the halfway line.
Well, Merthyr with tries after 5 and 14 minutes. That's nudged forward by Ocean Davis. And then by Coundley. And Pontypool will get the put into the scrummage. But Pontypool just growing into this game a little bit. They managed to withstand the last bout of Merthyr pressure, work their way downfield and get back in the game.
Yeah, the contact area is keeping them in the game for me. We've seen Herbert already, we've seen Sparks, we've seen Scott Matthews, we've seen Darren Hughes. That's a knock-on effect of Merthyr getting a little bit isolated in carry. Probably playing a game that they shouldn't be playing against a squad like Pontypool.
Scrum 5 tomorrow, 6 o'clock, BBC 2 Wales. Full showings of the Scarlets game against Edinburgh at 3:45. And the Cardiff Blues game in Munster last night at 9 o'clock on S4C. Full showings of those.
Agreed.
And astonishing scoreline coming in from South Africa. The Ospreys lead the Cheetahs by 31 points to 7. That's well into the second half in that game. That kicked off at 4:30 British time. And that will narrow the gap that Cardiff Blues hold over Ospreys at the moment. Again, the Pooler front row in trouble though. And Merthyr with the chance. I wonder if they might go for goal this time.
One white.
Yeah. Craig Price feeling the heat off James Howe again, but the ball's at the back of that scrum, just play it away. If you're Pontypool, the quicker channel one strike, just get it in and away. Try and ease up on the pressure. We can just see the ball's at the back of the scrums. That sparks his feet.
So Coundley's troops back on the defensive. He played for Ebbw Vale on this ground. Made 27 appearances for the Dragons.
Yeah, he's done a bit of Neath as well.
Rhys Williams had his share in the professional ranks as well. Cardiff Blues. Ocean Davis with a breakaway. Forward pass. As Terry G dashes away to score into the posts.
Yeah, it's just what Merthyr didn't need going into half-time. Nice, decent setup off the line out. They've gone for a little breakout play, trying to use that man again. Pinches up the middle. But it's just broken down. The accuracy's just falling away. They're in the right area of the field. There's been a decent mix to the game, a little bit of variety off 9 on 10. But for me, second half, particularly first 10, 15, is play off 10. Get off to Gareth Davis. He's a very dangerous runner who controls the game. That's what they need.
Bind. Set.
See if Pontypool can manage the quick strike. It's gone down. Details of that Ospreys scoreline, winning 31-7 against Cheetahs in South Africa. Tries from Dan Evans, who got 4, of course, against the Dragons. Ollie Cracknell, Justin Tipprick and Corey Allen, with Luke Price and Sam Davis sharing the goal kicks. So that'll be a 5-pointer for the Ospreys.
That one was the one you made when you went down.
And get them back within... Not quite within striking range of Cardiff Blues, but a bit closer. The two teams meet on Judgment Day at the Principality Stadium, of course.
bind, set.
Merthyr looking to turn the screw again, and they've done it. No, it's gone the other way this time.
Again, it's come from the assistant referee. I think this John Hardy. They've got away with one there for me, Pontypool. How doesn't look happy, Cowley. He's got a right smile.
One green collapse, higher.
Again, good distance, good length for the kick from Matthew Lewis. But just stay in possession of the ball. Try and eke out now a little bit of ill-discipline from Merthyr, whether you pick up a penalty or whether you do create that line break and finish up with a score. But they need to go into half-time now, because you look at the benches of both teams. Most definitely a lot more quality on that Merthyr bench. So take the points when you create them. That's it, playing him in the air. It's just what they were after, Pontypool. Against Ocean Davis. Matthew Lewis has already got the ball in his hands.
Shot.
And he said, "I'll go with the sticks, please." It's interesting, Pontypool have played this opening 37, 38 minutes with just 10 men. We haven't mentioned their centre partnership of Kieran Meek, Joel Marnie. We haven't seen their wingers of Lloyd Lewis, Jordan Thomas. We haven't really mentioned Geraint Walsh. And that goes to say what type of game it's been, particularly opening 20 minutes. It's all this Pontypool back row that is keeping them in this game.
Here's Matthew Lewis then to try and cut the deficit again. Has that one got the length? Yes, it's just dropped over the crossbar. And Pontypool really are in this game at 14-11.
Yeah, they are. And if you probably look at the possession on territory stats, they shouldn't be. Because they simply haven't had enough ball. But that man on your shot, he put his first one wide, but after that, length the kick, both dead ball and tactically, has been superb, and it's keeping this Pontypool side in the game at the moment.
Oh, that's a great chase from Terry G. Ben Sparks was waiting underneath it. But Merthyr have lost it in contact.
Again, it's that man, Danny Hodge, just being an absolute nuisance in the breakdown, forcing a knock on. You see Craig Locke just getting a little bit of frustration, but great take again from Terry G. As you mentioned, Nick, we saw him a couple of weeks ago. We gave him man of the match up there. Scored a lovely little try, an inside ball off Rhys Downs.
Gents, let's go, please. Oh, sorry, boys. Time's off.
Again, just what Pontypool need, just to try and slow this game down, get them into half-time. Again, just 3 points behind.
You've got to keep your feet underneath him and not leave them behind you.
Ben Sparks in the blue scrum cap is the man receiving treatment.
Feet left behind him as well. So, we've just gone into the last minute.
Dale McIntosh has plenty to ponder after his side sprang into a 14-point lead in quarter of an hour.
Yeah, I think in the back of your mind, though, you don't need to panic.
Ask someone else, I've just told them.
You've definitely got the quality of bench over Pontypool. And as he mentioned in his interview in-game, he's looking just to tire out a few of these tight five forwards of Pontypool and then maybe play to width. But tactically, it's going to be an interesting conversation at half-time between Dacey, Chief Gareth Davis, their key leaders in that dressing room.
Great!
Pontypool have had to work really hard to keep themselves alive in those scrimmages, but they did get the penalty last time round. Ben Sparks needs to get that one out quickly, and he's picked it up just in time.
That is it, 9.
Yeah, that's half quick, just got to put this off the field.
Use! Carry back.
Into the red. Can't kick directly to touch.
Okay.
Matthew Jarvis underneath the clearance.
Last feet.
Downs blind side. Oh, big sit down from G on Lewis, who's in some trouble actually. the medical staff quickly on at the bottom of your picture there. So Merthyr won't want to come this way. Pinches. Moving it wide. Thomas held.
Okay, thank you, Sean.
Merthyr making a bit of headway.
It's his own man
got a bit
in the way.
congested on the blind side. Up to the 22 they go. Matthews stops their progress.
They've got to come left of Merthyr. I know Lloyd Lewis at Pontypool right wing is down, so they've got numbers. The last man on the tip there is the 8 for Pontypool and Ben Sparks. They've got to expose him.
Now, can Merthyr make this one pay? There's a big overlap on the left. Kyle Evans out to Howe. Brought down by Sparks. That's a tremendous cover tackle.
Time is off.
The ball in
Time
touch.
is off. We need to check the foul play. Thank you.
And we're going to check for potential foul play in that handoff.
Sure.
So instantly it's whether he leads with the forearm.
I haven't seen anything.
Oh, it's the
What
head
have you
collision.
got for me?
I'm checking the fend by the green attacker on the halfway line, okay?
Okay, perfect. We just need to check for potential foul play.
Sean Brittle is
on this
the
gentleman by here. Just give me some
TMO
space.
in our truck.
Danny?
Yeah, it's a difficult one because you simply can't lead with a forearm anymore. And she has just gone straight to the throat, I think it was, of Lloyd Lewis, who felt it instantly straight to deck.
Have you had...
No, I see the collision, but not
okay.
Just watches right arm, just catches him on the jaw. And I think he's out, Lloyd Lewis. He hasn't moved since. So he is hoping he's all right.
Yeah, he's sitting up as Lewis, but still receiving attention.
Yeah, Sean.
14 green, leads with his forearm and makes contact with force to the defender's head.
Okay, so what you're telling me, Sean, is 14 green, correct?
That's correct.
Has made direct contact at force with the elbow to the player's head.
That's correct.
Therefore, we have no choice but to red card 14 green.
That's correct.
Perfect, thank you. 14. 14. And Craig. 14.
Terry G, man of the match in the quarter-final, is going to be
TMO
off at half-time in the semi.
In the collision, you have made direct contact to the head of the Pontypool player at force with your elbow. It is a red card. We have no option.
It's interesting when you can see the disbelief in Terry G's face. It may be a little harsh.
Sean, can you tell me where? No, it's on this 10-metre line.
For me, because he's just raising his form. He's caught him on the chin. A red card. You know, you talk about letter of the law. He doesn't look happy.
Time on.
It didn't look like deliberate foul play, did it?
Not at all.
But intention doesn't matter these days.
Yeah, you know, everyone would have agreed, I think, with a yellow card.
Now does that open the door for Pontypool? You have to feel sorry for Terry G there. Looking absolutely distraught. Got the first try of the game. Got one of the tries a couple of weeks ago against Pontypool.
Yeah, that changes the complexion, whole complexion of Chief and Dacey's, the coaching centre for Merthyr, their half-time chat. There he is. Now his mind will be working right. What have we got to change at half-time?
That's once 9.
So Pontypool have been playing a fairly narrow game. Oh, they give away the penalties, so they won't take
Thank you.
advantage of that one.
Take your own player and walk
Exchange
away.
of unpleasantries on the stroke of half-time.
Take your own players, gents. Gents, take yourselves back. Take yourselves back. It's just a penalty for blocking. That is the half, gents.
So that is half-time.
Yeah. That is the half.
And what a cup tie we've got on. Merthyr off to a flying start. Pontypool pegged them back, and Merthyr suffering a red card on the stroke of the interval. Merthyr lead 14-11. That's crossed to Phil Steele.
Craig Lock, Merthyr captain, I appreciate you might not have seen it, but what were your thoughts on the red card anyway?
I just thought it was a solid card, to be honest. I don't know. He said he made direct contact with the head, with the elbow. I don't think he was. I don't know what it says on the side, but I just thought it was a good card. He's intent to go forward, but we're in a bit of a battle now, so...
Yeah, I was going to say, what does it mean now for your tactics?
We just do it for Terry, you know. 14 men down, so we can do his fight. We're on top, made a couple of errors. We got the win second half, but you can't rely on that. We just go back to structure.
Thanks for your time.
Cheers.
There we are. Craig Lock says they're in a battle. They are indeed. There's only one place to start, that red card. Richie Rees said it might have been a bit harsh. What do we think here in studio? Ashton, you go first.
It is a bit of a tough one. It's a massive game, so it's a massive call for the referee. But at the end of the day, he's led with the forearm. They said elbow on the mic as well, so I think the ref's in a tough spot there, but it's his call at the end of the day, and Merthyr have to deal with it now.
Yes, the letter of the law, Andrew. There was no choice, was there?
No, I agree with the officials on this one. I feel really sorry for Terry G. You know, he's kind of, I don't think he's juggled the ball, but he didn't look comfortable catching the ball, and then he's been delayed, and he hasn't been able to get his body in the position he wanted to go into that contact, which has forced him then just to pick his elbow up. But it's the right call. It's the letter of the law, and unfortunately for Merthyr, they'll run up against it. Pontypool, some big moments in that first half to get themselves back into it. And we said before the game, they needed some luck from the officials. Well, they've got it here. Here's the red card. Game on.
And they're going to have to change their tactics now because of this elbow, aren't they? What do? What's Dale McIntosh telling his players in that changing room, Andrew?
As Craig Lock said there, it's all about systems, and we've said this about Merthyr previously. When they do get flustered, when they get frustrated, they can go off track a little bit. But I think Chief has been focused on that this week, and it'll be really good to see how professional they can be in the second half. Come out, go through the systems, maybe play through the forwards, because they've got the upper hand in the driving more there.
If you're a Pontypool player, you must be thinking that the gods are looking down at you right now.
Yeah, Coombsy said before the game that they might get that little bit of luck that'll change the game at times, and that's exactly what's happened here. The red card has given them an opportunity now to really chase the game. There's going to be space out wide, and if they can exploit that, it'll be a danger.
Yeah, the fans look very happy. They're eyeing a win now. Terry G, though, he was the man who got that first try. He looked absolutely gutted to be sent off, but he would have been happy with that first try, 5 minutes played.
Definitely, yeah, he's been really influential. He was against Pontypool as well. But if we can see here, gets the ball out wide, chip ahead, perfect because the 15 closed. Unfortunately, there was no cover for Ponty in the backfield, but he's managed to execute the kick well, regather and score the try.
For me, Gerrit Walsh there, he's got to get some contact on Terry G. Can't let him go past him that easy. He's got to get up closer in his face, put some contact on him, and not allow him then to be able to pick that ball back up.
Let's look at the second try that came for Merthyr. 15 minutes, and I guess we were starting to worry that it was going to be a pretty one-sided affair at this point.
Yeah, we were, but it was a big call from Merthyr to go for the corner. I thought they were going to go for the three. Cup rugby, you normally take your threes. Obviously got a lot of confidence in this area. You know, they're renowned for a driving maul, and that's very good composure there. Downs going in, giving the extra support, as Richie Rees always did, trying to steal the ball. But that's just great composure from Merthyr. They can see a weak shoulder there. They've exploited that, and they've come right through Pontypool. You know, and as we said, that's a big call, and that gave them a lot of momentum, a lot of confidence in the game. So credit to Pontypool to get back from this.
And we've always said, haven't we, that Merthyr were going to be very strong up front, but there have been a couple of big calls for Pontypool that have kept them in this match in this first half.
Without a doubt, you know, and as we've seen, Merthyr went for the corner again, and that's a great steal from Pontypool, backing themselves on their own try line. Then they get a Merthyr scrum just outside Merthyr 22. Pontypool put the squeeze on. They've been under pressure in the scrum. They find it within themselves. A big moment in the game there.
Next, let's talk about Pontypool then. They got themselves back into it. Scott Matthews, a very experienced player. He was with Cross Keys. I think he got to the final back in 2014. And this was the start of their confidence, gaining momentum and really getting back into the game.
Definitely. I've played with Scott growing up through age grade, and turnovers are his bread and butter. So just before the try, which got them the kick to the corner, he made the turnover, gets the ball at the back of the maul here. And like Coombsy said, the forwards have fronted up here. A turn in the game, and they managed to get over for that try.
Yeah, great work from Danny Hodge, big second row for Pontypool. He's just sheared off there, he stayed strong at the front of the maul, squared up, and he's just taken the whole pack through with him. as we can see, he's just controlled that maul for Pontypool, and then Scotty Matthews just doing the rest to get over for a try. That's great work from Pontypool.
Some great work. I bet they'll be wanting more of that in the second half. We will chat some more in a few moments, but first, I think behind me somewhere, amongst all those fans, Phil Steele has some very special company.
Yeah, we're live on Scrum 5 here, madam. Now, thank you. This lady has just given me an orange as well. Thank you very much for the orange you give me. Well, there's legends, Catherine, and there's proper legends, and this guy here is a proper legend. Of course, president of Pontypool these days, 41 caps for Wales, still Wales's most capped Lion, 12 consecutive tests. Graham Price, of course. What did you think of that first half?
Well, before I start, I'd like to say how well we've done to get here in the first place, you know, because we've dealt with a couple of Premier Division sides en route, and no matter what the outcome is, you know, I think I'm really proud that we're here. But I mean, after the first 10 minutes or so, when we went 14 points down, I thought this is going to be a very long afternoon for us. But we've clawed our way back, you know, and the areas that I thought we'd struggle with, you know, the drive-in line-out and the scrum, I thought we're doing quite well, you know. We had that drive-in maul from the line-out to score the try, you know, and then we demolished them in one of the scrums, so yeah, it's looking good.
The red card, what did you think of it, and what do you think it'll do to the game?
Well, obviously, Merthyr are going to face the rest of the match with 14 men, which if you're from Pontypool, you don't mind. But it was rather brutal. I was watching it from this side of the field, and I could see that something untoward had happened over there. And I got my son on the phone. He said it was rather brutal, so something must have happened, you know.
Come on in, 41 caps, 12 consecutive Lions tours. You must be able to make a prediction. What's going to happen second half?
Well, I think we're going to give it our best shot, and we'll still be in there when at the final whistle. Being one man up all through the second half is going to be good for us. Hopefully they'll tire, and perhaps we'll sneak it in the end. But I'm really proud that we're here in the first place.
Always great to talk to you on Scrum Friday, Graham Price. Thanks very much for your time.
Thank you. Cheers.
And from one legend, sad news about another legend, an Aberavon legend this week. The death of former Wales and Aberavon lock Billy Mainwaring, who played 6 tests for Wales in the 60s. Over 700 games for Aberavon, a great presence around the Talbot Athletic Ground and around the town of Porthcawl. He died at the age of 78 in the week, so our condolences to the Mainwaring family and all at Aberavon Rugby Football Club.
Yes, indeed. Thanks for that, Phil. Right then, we don't know who's going to make it to the final from these two teams. Only 3 points separate them, but we do know that Cardiff have made it to the final earlier. They beat Llandudno.
The Blue and Blacks were out of the traps in tremendous style with a try by hooker Joey Tomlinson. Max Llewellyn and Ed Howley in concert to send their captain in for a try on his 100th appearance for the club. Cardiff struck again with 2 further tries in a frantic first quarter, this the best. Tomlinson and Llewellyn again involved, a chip and nip from Ed Howley, and that brought up his team's 3rd try. Llandudno finally got off the bus with this try just before half-time by Rodri Jones, but at the interval it was 20 points to 10 in favour of Cardiff. In the second half, Ed Howley added a 2nd try for the Blue and Blacks. And Gareth Thompson sealed it for Cardiff just before the end.
Happy to win, get through to the final. So I thought there was lots of huge endeavour and lots of skill out there. And by the end of the 80 minutes, I thought we were thoroughly deserving of the win. The last time Cardiff won the cup was 1999, so 10 years since we've been there. And yeah, it was a big focus of ours all season as soon as we had an opportunity to get there. So over the moon.
Yeah, congratulations to Steve Law and the team. Plenty of Principality Premiership fixtures this afternoon as well. Some very interesting scores. Aberavon getting a big win against Cross Keys. Bargoed beating Swansea. Richard Lancaster, Swansea coach, this week announcing that he's leaving after 5 years. A win for Bedwas against Bridgend. That's a big result for them. And Carmarthen getting that win against Ebbw Vale. They'll be disappointed, Ebbw Vale. Let's look at the table then. The bottom first of all. And Bridgend in 13th, Llanelli in 12th. That's our live game for you next weekend here on Scrum 5. And then at the top of the table, well, Ebbw Vale, after that defeat in 4th, as I said, they'll be disappointed with that one. Llandovery, Cardiff and Merthyr obviously not playing today. Right then, let's go back to the game here at Ebbw Vale. Merthyr have a lead, only 3 points in it. It's going to be a fascinating second half.
1, 2, 3, Merthyr! And Merthyr strike with their first attack of the game. They're almost up to it. Trygiven and Pontypool get the score that the game needed to stay in contention. Has that one got the length? Yes, it's just dropped over the crossbar. And Pontypool really are in this game at 14-11.
But it is a red card. We have no option.
So Pontypool have the extra man. I wonder what the message is in that changing room. What are the tactics for the second half? Let's go and find out.
A couple of big things, yeah. I think we need line speed in the D, yeah. They're sending them one-up runners, yeah, and we can really go after them and win that collision by getting after them. So let's really come up in that line, put them to the ground, yeah. So we've had a lot of success when we hit them, put them to the ground, and we're in over the ball, yeah. We've got good tacklers, yeah. Just give them their opportunity to get the penalties, yeah.
We were going to bring you the Merthyr changing room as well, but we can't because there was too much swearing from Dale McIntosh. I can imagine why. Right, the teams are getting ready to come out. Pontypool, what do they need to do to get this win now in this final half?
I think they just need to stay calm and composed, don't get too excited with the red card, and but if they stick to their plan now, chase that space that's going to be out wide, I think they could nab it.
And Merthyr, a man down, what do they do, Andrew?
You've got to retain possession. You can't be giving Pontypool possession territory. That's key for Merthyr. Just come out, keep the ball, get into the corners, because they've shown that they score tries.
A fascinating second half awaits us. They're excited, we're excited. It could be a historic second half for Pontypool. Let's go back to our commentary team then. Richie Rees and Nick Webb.
Last cup finalists in 1991.
Let's worry about his second half.
A golden chance for Pontypool to get to the Principality Stadium for the first time since the game turned professional.
It's very, very interesting now how Merthyr set up in their backfield.
Last feet.
Do they employ effectively
carried back
2 wingers? So that would be there.
Jarvis, Rees dropping back to help out. Traditional number 8 style. Gareth Davis had dropped back as well.
First man.
Good contest. Pontypool with a turnover this time. Away from Meek to Mahoney.
Play on, Rip went backwards, play on.
Merthyr almost standing and watching it for a moment there.
Yeah,
Matthews bashes on.
And release their green.
23 is the replacement wing, Rodri Usher, on for Lloyd Lewis. As Pontypool gets some width on it for the first time. Mahoney in the outside centre position.
Yeah, look who's defending him as well in that wild chance. It's the open side for Merthyr. Josh and Davis. That's where the space is going to be. Touched on Jarvis, and Kyle Evans going to work extra hard now. They've got to cover this red card. So that then, from an attacking perspective, what do you introduce from your attacking kicking game? Do you kick from an edge? Do you kick off 13? Do you kick off your half-backs? But that's what they can't really afford now. Pontypool, the unforced error, the cheap turnover.
There's the original turnover. Won by Pontypool.
Yeah, it's Herbert that time again. I think it's 2 each for all 3 of the back row of Pontypool. With Matthews, Herbert and Sparks. They've been lively. They've been a dominant force in this game at the moment. There he is. It's his second season with Pontypool. Used to play for Pontypool United. And I know he's very, very highly thought of from Leighton Jones, the coach.
If Pontypool stay in this game, that lot are going to get noisier and noisier. And he came in numbers. Free coach transportation
shoulders square
provided up the valley for the Pontypool fans.
Time on.
I think the management are going to get a fairly hefty bill for those coaches. Because it was taken up in huge numbers.
Yeah, they've got no left wing now, Merthyr, so this will allow Aaron Quick, the scrum half for Pontypool, just to drop behind this scrum and give you extra number defensively. Pontypool then can bring more line speed, put a bit of pressure on. Rhys Downs, Gareth Davis, Aaron Pinches.
Reminder, if you have just joined us, that try-scoring winger Terry G was sent off seconds before half-time for an illegal fend. It was an elbow to the throat or jaw of Lloyd Lewis that left him all over the place. And Pontypool with the drive from the scrum this time, and the pick-up from Sparks, who runs at Gareth Davis. Just about does enough to hold him up. Can Pontypool recycle this one? Quick digs it out, finds Hodge, flicks it off to Gregory. Pontypool with their tails up now.
They've got no one in that contact though, Merthyr. They can still get off the line.
Coundley juggles and holds on. Hughes cleaning out.
Clear there, play on.
Got away with it.
At the side, yeah. He did have a little twitch of the arm, the referee, Mike English.
Can Pontypool recreate the glory days? 83 cup winners, 18-6 over Swansea. They're 40 minutes potentially away.
Okay,
but Merthyr will have other ideas. The current cup holders, league winners, on track for a double-double.
Again, no, it's an unforced error for Pontypool in a key area of the field. You start double, triple banking penalties, there's only going to be one outcome. You're going to lose field position, and possession of the ball. I'm sure I have a bit of confidence after the last scrum, Pontypool. They'll be going straight after this. That front row prize, Hughes, Cowley.
Well, when Merthyr were 14 points to good after a quarter of an hour, we feared this game might be turning into a procession. It certainly hasn't turned out that way.
Set.
Downs into the scrum. Phil Rees with the control. Gareth Davis, no frills on that one. Finding touch just over Phil Steele's head on halfway.
Yeah, great kick, Gareth Davis, just exactly what they need. Nice, clean, clear, simple exit. Relieve a bit of pressure, change of momentum in this game. It's been all Pontypool the first 5 minutes of this second half. Yes, they're a man up.
Stuck in the air by Quick for Usher. A replacement to Chase, so he got to it. Pontypool getting the scrum.
First was back, then the second one was
There's just belief flooding into those Pontypool veins, isn't there, at the moment. They may not be playing expansive rugby, but they're just starting to win the little moments that they didn't in the first quarter.
Yeah, tactically, this is the right game that they need to play, though, Pontypool. Just go to the air, challenge this back two of Merthyr, of Jarvis and Evans. It was a decent quick kick from Quick. Asher got up there, a little bit of pressure in the arms, nice, spoiled the free catch. Pontypool, scrum.
Crouch.
Just indications that they might be inclined to get the ball a little bit wider, with Merthyr a man short behind.
Yeah, look who's standing at 10 for Merthyr, though. It's Ocean Davis. They're going 7 in the scrum of Merthyr. You can just pick up his blonde hair. Reflection of the sun just inside Gareth Davis. So they've gone with 7 in the scrum. Have Pontypool recognised this? Do they then look, keep the ball in there, have a double squeeze? It was a 12, Kieran Meek just speaking to Quick. I'm not sure if he's passing that message in. He might well be.
Crouch.
Well, Pontypool might try and target Gareth Davis, but he's one place further out with Ocean Davis, the flanker.
Yeah, they're going for that double shove. You can see they haven't had much success yet, though.
Advantage, 6 point then.
Quick. Lewis. Usher slips, but advantage being played.
Okay, I'm released, no green. Playing penalty advantage, White.
Yeah, advantage against Jake Thomas early. Release from the scrum.
Smashing away, but I think they'll have to come back towards this near side of the field.
6 green blinded.
Yes, so Merthyr's back row just tempted to have a little early double, weren't they?
Yeah, so this is an interesting decision now. Cowley's assessing where he is on the field. He'll chat to Matthew Lewis.
Do you fancy it, son?
Yeah, I trying to. Oh, he's going for the corner. Big call. They're backing themselves to this 8 of Pontypool. Jake Thomas, blackhead gum left hand side. You scream. He's done him just for that early gone off scrum seat. Just an early release. Just trying to help out Ocean Davis, who was defending at 10.
Jake Thomas and the black scrum cap there. 7 metres out. What have Pooler got on their armoury here? They've scored 1 try from a driving maul, so have Merthyr. Are we about to see another one? Merthyr defending well initially. Darren Hughes slips it to Ben Sparks, but Pontypool have to reset. They've done well just to keep it inching forward. Now can they keep the ball under control? It's a penalty advantage. The referee with his arm out. Michael Herbert plunging forward. Then Darren Hughes having a crack. Scott Matthews is through, and he's scored a second. And just look at that Pontypool delight as they get their noses in front.
Again, it's that back row combination. It was Herbert, the guy who originally won the ball at the line-out. But what I like about it, it was composed from quick. They knew they had the advantage against that. Ocean Davis going into the side of that driving maul, and they just stayed on. It was little half a metre after little half a metre, and there he is again, who's so important to this Pontypool side. Scott Matthews, he's got over again. And it's a great start, opening 8-9 minutes to this second half from Pontypool. Now Merthyr really do need to regroup, regather, talk tactics. How are they going to change something? Physicality, is it there at the moment? I'm not too sure.
Scott Matthews sending those guys into 7th heaven, maybe.
It's interesting. Hemi Barnes, he's ready to come on. The second row / back rower for Merthyr. They need to change something up. It's a good call. Get him on the field. He's known for his ball carrying ability.
Matthew Lewis, there's the kicker.
Yeah, they were just checking the try, I think. TMO, Sean Briggle. But Mike English just give Matthew Lewis the A-OK. Go on. Try and add the 2.
Matthew Lewis to make it a 4-point lead for Pooler. Just the left of the uprights. 20-year-old. Belts it over. 18-14. Pontypool lead with half an hour left. It's crossed to Phil Steele.
Leighton Jones, Pontypool coach, you're in the lead. What are you going to do to stay there?
I just think we got to carry on playing. You know, we had a chat at half-time about a few things, and you know, we didn't start the first half well, so it was important we come out and start the second half. We just, you know, we got to try and get a bit of territory and you know, play rugby and ask questions.
No truth in the rumour, you were just on your feet there, saying the referee, shouting the referee to blow up?
Definitely, I think time's up now, Phil.
Cheers, Leighton.
Cheers, thanks.
Leighton Jones, the Pontypool coach, with Phil Steele. Now have his team got the nous to manage this game?
Yeah, this is where that lack of winger is a killer. It's Adam Thomas defending you, 13 on an edge.
Usher stepping in field, brought down by Hemi Barnes, who's just on in the Merthyr back row. Away from Hughes.
Great recognition, Matthew Lewis. he has got no other options outside him then. He's had the ball out the back. I think it was off Danny Hodge, but there was no shape outside him. He saw the space in that backfield where there's always going to be with that red card on the wing.
Keep him on you.
For Terry G of Merthyr, so the space was there, and he's executed it to perfection. He's effectively saying to Merthyr, there you are, play from 30 metres from your own try line.
Rhys Williams staring into the setting sun, as is the camera.
Come back off green.
Barnes trying to tidy
no,
up.
Leave it come, no white. Last feet. Last feet.
Phil Rees just making a couple of metres headway.
Leave it come, 6.
They've got to get some width on this kick chase of Merthyr. They're going to be real narrow otherwise.
Into the arms of Jordan Thomas. Almost slips. He hasn't seen too much of the ball coming his way. Might change with Merthyr a man short. No, Kieran Meek just stepping back and trying to stick it behind that Merthyr defence. Jarvis to Walsh, 15 to 15, plenty of ground for Walsh to make. Unchallenged, a big fend from Walsh.
Yeah, it was on how one like that, 15 knocking over a prop. So their tails are definitely up now, Ponty. Oh.
Off a boot, play on.
Well, Mahoney just about managed to
backfield, there's some space in this backfield.
Get a boot to it, and then it's knocked on by Pinches. So it will be a Pontypool scrum.
It's just scrappy now from both teams. Someone really needs to grab this game by the scruff of the neck. It's down the half-backs of both teams. At the moment, there is too much error to create anything from an attacking perspective of both teams.
Sorry, he's kicked it.
Here's the fend from Walsh over on the far side of the field.
Oof, I won't be happy with that one, sorry. I take it back, it was Louis Jones, a replacement prop.
Greg. You need to go back. Okay, hang on. I need your 15.
Matthew Jarvis being called over.
You need to get involved. If you approach me like that again, it could be more.
Yeah, referee Mike English not happy with Matthew Jarvis.
Neither was then.
He has got a short fuse, Jarvis. You can see it's just frustration for both teams, I think. Inaccuracy, a bit scrappy.
There's a bit of chopsing going on, and that's even without Richie Rees on the field.
I think ever had a yellow card, Nick? I might have had one.
Pontypool with those two Scott Matthews tries, working their way from 14 points behind. There's 14-11 before the sending off.
Yeah, watch Rees Downs now. It's important how he defends.
3 under pressure, need to fall.
Pontypool front row still suffering a little bit, and the replacement tight head is an on-loan player, Harry Seward, if Craig Price is replaced.
Yeah, they'll try and keep him on for as long as possible. For me, his legs will go at some point, so we will see Harry Seward, but not at the detriment of their set piece.
Good hearing the passion from Welsh club supporters echoing around Eugene Cross Park. Pontypool winning the vocal battles, I think, on both sides of the pitch. But here come Merthyr. Gareth Davis to Adam Thomas. Getting out of the tackle, offloading to Jarvis. Bumped into Davis, but no tackler in sight. Gives Pontypool a little time to reorganise, but 14-man Merthyr just finding an extra gear.
Yeah, they just need to go multi-phase. Merthyr now go through phase after phase, because something will give from this Pontypool defence.
Louis Jones on the charge. Gareth Davis looks at his options. Oh, that's a good offload. Sparks back with a crucial tackle in front of the post. Merthyr come again. Gareth Davis just looking for the inside ball again. Downs.
Yeah, two faces in the trot. Both their half-backs are carrying, so they're going to have to build now at Merthyr.
Pinches. Lock with the hint of a dummy. Pinches trying to get out to tackle Mahoney, who hangs on.
No, last feet.
10 metres out.
Step.
Back it comes for Locke, the captain, trying to lead by example. What an enthralling cup tie this has turned into. Louis Jones for Merthyr.
Release 24. Don't kick it. Step.
Phil Rees with the shaven head.
Got to be careful they don't get isolated, Merthyr, in their carries. We've seen the work that they do at the breakdown Pontypool.
Herbert's told to get out of that one.
Yeah, they got away with one.
Some very vigorous clearing. I think it's a Merthyr advantage being played.
Playing the 9. 2 playing the 9.
Does Merthyr take the points here? Plenty of time left.
Yeah, take a 3. It's the first time they've been in this Pontypool 22, but they're struggling to get speed of ball now, Merthyr, at the moment, and that's down to their individual carries for me. Their support clean isn't there quick enough. The knock-on effect of that is taking an extra second and a half to get that ball away from Rees Downs, because he's having to dig.
Yes.
But yeah, quite rightly, Jarvis is stepping up. It's right in front of the sticks. It's an easy 3 points.
Way, so you'd have had the penalty anyway, okay? If you...
Yeah, just watch Downhouse takes out Rees Downs. You can't be seen to touch him. As you're playing 9, it's frustrating, it's a cheap, it's an easy penalty to give away. It's just what Merthyr were after.
Jarvis then landed the 2 early conversions, and that one's crawled its way over somehow. 17-18.
Yeah, he had a little slip as he slotted that one. It's the only time his shorts have got dirty for the last 18 months, Matthew Jarvis. But it's game on now. It's a 1-point ball game. His plant foot just goes beneath him, but still 3 points on the scoreboard for Merthyr.
Time's on.
One might have woken up some of the people with the clubhouse view. The ball scudding straight at them. Just scudded over the crossbar first. Lock underneath the restart. Flicks it straight to Rees. It's held straight away.
Ball's there. Wait, step.
A little bit of a heavy surface after the rain we had this week.
Yeah, just a little detail about that last breakdown. Stay in the 22. We will allow Rees Downs to put that ball off the field.
Sparks hounded by Kyle Evans. Quick gets it away. Pontypool recycling. Lewis hasn't quite got that one where he wanted. Straight to Gareth Davis, who's won that little battle. But Pontypool will have a line out just inside their own half of the field.
They've just got to be careful now, Pontypool. I appreciate they want to kick early in set, but Merthyr are spotting that, so they've already got 2 back there, so the knock-on effect of that will be there's going to be space on an edge at width. If you play there, just go an extra phase. That's going to draw up that backfield. It's going to affect the backfield, and there's going to be space there.
There is that replacement we were talking about. Craig Price gives way at tight head. And number 21 is not a scrum half. He's a tight head prop. And the Pontypool jerseys, Harry Seward. That's over the top, and a contest for a flick up. And Pontypool keep going. Mike Herbert almost up to 22. Back on the Pooler side. Well, a bouncing bomb pass out to Jordan Thomas, and his kick cannoning into touch, but Pontypool lucky to get the throw in.
Yeah, 2 offloads and Connors. Great ball gather here, Matthew Lewis. Ball offload off the floor. There's a guy who's just straight on the field. So he would again offload in contact to that guy who's been real lively all day, Mike Herbert. But that is when the tempo is high. That's what Pontypool need to do. I appreciate they want to look to play territory and this kicking game, but they know that numbers are going to be short in that front line for Merthyr.
Darren Hughes into line out, won by Curtis Gregory. Smuggled back to Scott Matthews, who's scored the 2 tries so far.
Asher's really hugging his touchline, his left wing for Pontypool.
Again, they put boot to ball.
They're away.
Quickly taken by Merthyr. Bit of adventure, and then Gareth Davis slightly slicing his kick, but he still found a decent enough touch just inside the Pooler half.
They just need to control their emotions. Pontypool has absolutely no need to put that kick in from that driving line out. The 25-26 metres out from the Merthyr try line. You're giving the ball straight back to Merthyr, and you're allowing a guy the quality of Gareth Davis then to knock that 40-metre kick back downfield.
Won by Gregory, maybe not entirely straight, chipped over the top by Lewis. Where's the pursuit for that one? It's back to Pontypool hands. Kieran Meek, one of the try scorers against Bridgend.
Turned it over though of Merthyr. Great kick.
Banged downfield by Downs. There's space there as it rolls into the Pooler 22. And the Gwent side are going to have to play from deep now.
Yeah, again, we go back to that tactical management of your game from Pontypool. He's been very, very good so far in this game as the youngster Matthew Lewis. At 10 for Pontypool, but was that chip kick the right decision? It wasn't for me. You're giving the ball straight back to Merthyr. Matthew Jarvis, as he's gone to collect, he's still down, so there's no one in that backfield of Merthyr. But it's that composure, that experience, that time in game that only comes through being put in these pressure situations.
You've detached. And
so
release
these
it.
Sides have been piling up the wins between them this season.
Use.
Merthyr 3 in the cup, 19 in the league. Pontypool unbeaten this season, and with that single point advantage. Oh, that was a chance for Jordan Thomas to line up his man.
Playing advantage, just slipped up, high tackle.
Oh, it's a high tackle, Merthyr advantage.
Penalty advantage for a high tackle, gents.
Kyle Evans.
Emotions are running high now, both teams. This is where the indiscipline comes.
Relax.
You expect your experienced, your higher quality players now to really manage this situation. It's a great read initially by the right wing Jordan Thomas for Pontypool. But after the initial contact, he's just slipped up. It's so hard to manage then. But again, it's an out for Merthyr.
Or do you want to wait? Let's go.
Pontypool with a man down, but Gareth Davis elects to get the ball into touch and get on with it.
Come off.
Curious, it's the 20-metre pass from Jarvis. Adam Thomas, he's ridden the collision well.
Okay.
But the contact has just slipped up a little bit.
17 for Merthyr is Chris Phillips, the new loose head prop.
Gent 7.
And
7.
Pontypool bringing on the experience of club captain Rob Nash, wearing 18. Get into your shot soon enough. There he is, Rob Nash.
Are you captain? No.
Cup win with Cross Keys in 2012.
Gents 13.
That's just what Pontypool need though, experienced. Been there, he's done it, he's quality, he's niggly. He needs to take control of this next 10 minutes. It's so important of this game.
In the middle.
Clayton Gillis for Joel Mahoney in the centre is the other replacement that Pooler made there.
Let's give her a bit of credit though as he leaves the field. He's been everywhere in the contact area, defensive contact area, particularly for Pontypool.
Wait, one. Wait.
Lewis again putting it long. Jarvis can't take that one on the full.
It's a good return though.
Ben Sparks keeps it in field. Geraint Walsh has got a bit of room to think.
Keep coming.
Finds the gap where the winger isn't. And Merthyr press back into their own 22 again.
Yeah, that's the difficulty. So Jarvis has put the kick in initially for Merthyr, but he's chased. And don't forget, they're a man down in that backfield, Merthyr, so there was no one else there. You'd normally expect 2 15s effectively, so one on each 15-metre line. The space wasn't there. It's just gone over the head of Gareth Davis. And it's a great return for Pontypool.
Don't close in the middle.
Clive Burgess Terrace, former Ebbw, Vale and Wales great in the back row.
Competition player.
Pontypool win the line out, but then bump into their own man.
Accidental.
Yeah, accidental offside from
You've
Chris
just gone
Gregory
into
in second row.
I know.
For Pontypool. It's cheap, it's frustrating, you can see.
Twice a scrum.
See it in his face, but it's out now for Merthyr.
Here's the error again. Sparks does well. Gregory initially getting it, but then
just carries it to Cowley, skipper.
Scrum, let's go! Let's go, scrum,
well, we've seen some close contests at Eugene Cross Park in front of the Scrum 5 cameras this season. And here's another thriller to add to your list.
Crouch. Bind.
Scarlets
Set.
lead Edinburgh 7-0 in the
Keep
Pro
this up,
14. Merthyr with the penalty.
Angle and drop to your knee.
Yeah, they're becoming a bit of an issue now.
21, sorry.
These scrums, I think that's probably
Angle,
the fourth,
drop to his knee.
maybe fifth penalty from set piece for both teams.
Pontypool might be saved a little bit by the fact that they've got a replacement on, so it's not the same player committing the offences, but they can accumulate against a team as well as against an individual. And Pontypool will be very keen to keep their man advantage for these closing stages. Merthyr having try-scoring wing Terry G send off just on half-time as Hemi Barnes wins the line-out. Gareth Davis, a little bit of obstruction in that midfield as it comes out to Kyle Evans.
8-6.
Good double movement on the floor for Evans. Just changed the point, limited that turnover chance. And they've got numbers now of Merthyr on this left-hand side.
Gareth Davis looking for the step. Famously won a game for Cardiff Blues against Stade Francais in Europe with decisive try. Yams Park. Hemi Barnes making his presence felt as the replacement.
Yeah, he's carried well since he's come on, Hemi Barnes. Good substitution, good choice by Chief to get him onto the field sooner rather than later.
Locke has done plenty of carrying. Downs away to Phillips. Back for Gareth Davis to Pinches. Brought down by Lewis.
Ball's there, he's not affecting it. Play on.
Barnes once more. Pontypool meeting him on the game line through Nash. Ocean Davis trying to wrestle his way forward. Pontypool trying to hold him up.
Last feet.
Phil
2
Rees
feet
then
behind.
spotted
Absolutely fine.
a hint of a gap,
Don't
but
put
it
your hand on
closed
it
on
now.
him.
He's on his own in this carry.
Ball's there. Play on.
Merthyr just making a metre or two with each phase. Can
Back
they
feet.
keep it going?
Last feet 5. Stay there.
Rees with his hands on the ball, flicks it up this time. Pontypool calling for extra numbers at the top of your picture, and Gareth Davis getting it out to Evans, but Pontypool forcing Merthyr to operate under pressure.
Relax.
Oh. Is that a penalty coming? It is.
It's a good read initially again by Jordan Thomas at right wing for Pontypool. It's just a little block
Time
play.
off.
But for
11.
me, if you've ever got numbers down, just go front line, hit your
11.
short runner.
No, he's not appropriate. Okay.
You said that last time we talked to you.
I agree, but I need to speak to your 11 first and their 11. Yes.
Thank you.
So
11.
11s, Kyle Evans and Jordan Thomas are going to get
11.
a few words of official advice.
11. Yes.
Kyle Evans prepares his best innocent face. So he'll come into your shot soon.
Gents, the penalty is for a high tackle. Yeah. What happened afterwards is unacceptable. We get on with the rugby. Now is appropriate. Yeah, that's why it's a penalty. Yes. You know as well as anyone else. Mark is here. Where I am? Yeah.
Referee Mike English ruling an unfair tackle. Now will Jarvis go for goal?
Back you go.
Yeah.
Looks like it.
Yeah, he signalled. A message from his come on from the stands, come from Gavin Dacey, come from
10.
Chief through the water carriers. But again, it's just that left arm of John Thomas riding up. It's so difficult. One tackler's gone low, one's gone high. Your ball carrier's trying to get to deck, so his height's dipping.
Well, we not know what the lawmakers
Played an hour and 14.
have as their intention to protect the head, which is as it should be, but it leads to a few quite difficult decisions, doesn't it?
Yeah, they're cheap as well. They're a cheap and they're an easy penalty. I mean, it's so difficult to avoid because to win collisions defensively, try and go double contact. So hit the ball high, target your man high.
Can't do it anymore. This from Matthew Jarvis to put Merthyr back into lead with just over 10 minutes left. It's wide. Pontypool stay with their noses in front. And we had to look at the assistants carefully for that one. As on comes Matthew Dwyer, the Army man, former Ospreys hooker, replacing Rhys Williams.
Come on, let's keep working, come on!
Again, a bit of experience with Dwyer, ex-Osprey, onto the field. But what are we, 10 minutes left in the Cup semi-final. Who can control their emotions and manage themselves around the field? Best will win this game.
Phil Rees running into Rob Nash.
Well, they're short again now at Pontypool.
Crowd really getting into this game. Jarvis. 8 metres inside the Pooler half. Momentum just flowing the way of 14-man Merthyr at the moment as the Iron Men show their mettle inside the last 10. Gareth Davis into Sparks.
And release White!
Pontypool are going to have to dig deep to defend this single-point lead. They haven't been tested, maybe, that regularly in the championship.
Work rate off the ball is so important in attack now. Gareth Davis, Rhys Downs, they're looking up, but sometimes they don't have options.
Merthyr recycle. Downs to lock. Welcome committee was there. Oh, that's another high tackle from Pontypool. Another penalty. Well, that's probably too far for Jarvis, although he has got a fairly decent range.
That's 2. I need to see a change in behaviour.
No worries, yeah, no worries.
Manage it, please.
Can we have a chat a minute?
It's more than 2. I think that's about 4 or 5 we've seen in
2
71 minutes. Yeah. But again, it's a decent collision. Darren Hughes, Rob Nash, the replacement back row for Pontypool. Yeah, quite rightly, it's definitely a penalty.
I think it was
Number
Gregory.
5, gents.
Yeah, number 5.
Back 10.
Yeah, Jarvis is going to have a go again.
Post.
A bit further out, but a little bit more.
Post and time is on.
Just in front, time is on. So they don't want to waste too much time on this kick now, Merthyr. Jarvis, he's definitely got the range, he can strike it. It's just this, we've seen a few players slipping on this field. We saw him slip on his previous conversion to that plant foot. Keep your eye on it.
The TMO will tell me if he has.
Kicking down the valley towards the clubhouse end. Here is Matthew Jarvis, who missed with an angled attempt from shorter range. A few moments ago. Have to strike this one well. He has! Merthyr lead again with 8 minutes left at Eugene Cross Park. Well, that was one heck of a strike from the boot of Matthew Jarvis.
Yeah, if you're the Merthyr coaching team now, play the territory game. Put your foot on the ball and put it off the field. Challenge the line out.
5.
Let's cross to Phil Steele.
Dale McIntosh, Merthyr coach, you're in the lead. Your thoughts?
Well, it's been tough, isn't it? You know, really tough call on the red card. A lot of respect for Sean Bicknell. He's a good man, but it was a poor call. The only thing is, mate, I've got to say it, Pontypool's a great club, and their players are working hard for their club, and it's not right that the Pontypool crowd should be booing kickers. But I will say this, it's not the players' fault, okay? And they think, you know, we're good people in rugby, and Pontypool's a better club than that, so I'd ask them just to respect the kicker, that's all, mate.
Okay, well said, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Chief's not happy.
Straight back to the pitch. What didn't Pontypool need?
Work hard for
is putting that ball straight off the field. It's allowed Merthyr possession of the ball. They are now in control. Centre field scrum. Expect Rhys Downs, Gareth Davis to try and find a little bit of grass in that backfield of Pontypool's.
Just take a fraction off him, all right?
Well, Merthyr, comfortable winners over Newport in last year's final. As things stand, they'll be facing Cardiff. Both games within the Blues region, of course.
Set.
So Richie Rees, as a Blues employee, will have to be completely neutral.
As ever, Nicholas, as ever.
Rees with the pickup. Downs belts it too far.
Do not underestimate the importance of the work that Scott Matthews has done on Rhys Downs here. He was never in control of that. There was a little bit of pressure on the Merthyr scrum. Phil Rees just shifted the ball onto Rhys Downs. And you can't manage yourself. You cannot control your body to get that accurate kick in. Watch Scott Matthews gets off that scrum relatively early. There's the pressure. As soon as he kicks it, Downs knows he's overcooked it. He's just handing a lifeline back to Pontypool.
The other shaven head you can see in the Pontypool ranks is 19, the replacement scrum half Martin Luckwell, who's just come on. Rodri Usher. Pontypool needs some momentum, but Merthyr have nicked it back as we come towards the closing 6 minutes of this game.
Gareth Davis off the left. There's no kicking foot.
Jordan Thomas told to belt it down, but got underneath it a bit. Some decent chase to make up for it from the youngster. But discipline is killing Pontypool in this last quarter of the game.
Got against Rob Nash. The referee, Mike English, has said he's just put his hands past the ball, which is a tough call. He doesn't look happy. Look at him, Rob Nash.
And then onto the ball.
I think he's got a little bit of right to be. The explanation he gave him, the hands went past the ball before the clean. So watch him, Jordan Thomas makes a tackle, Nash goes in over the top. There, the hands go past. It's a cracking call by the referee. I apologise on the clean, but it's a key moment in game. Davis will go to the corner for me, because neither Davis or Jarvis will have the legs.
No, clock's on.
Now just control this set piece, control this line-out.
Approaching the last 5.
2 and 1.
Merthyr went 14 points up in 15 minutes. Pontypool fought back to lead 18-14 and with a man advantage.
Captain now?
For the second half, but Merthyr have just found something. They've dug deep. And 2 Matthew Jarvis penalties edging the Ironmen back ahead at the home of the Steelmen.
Time is on. Tackle, release, green. Last feet. Wait, 18.
Pontypool driven back in defence. Got some more front row replacements with us as well. Alex Watkins and Corey Hewlett on for Pontypool. Matthew Lewis has got a bit of distance on that kick, but it's a Merthyr throw.
You have time.
And time is now with Merthyr. They won't be in any hurry at all.
Nah, limit the chance of error, go front, make a one-out pass, make sure you've got supporters on your clean, just stay in possession of the ball. It's exactly what they've done initially. Phil Rees gone front ball. Rees Downs is going to try and manage this, tighten everything up, send pinches short.
21, 18 out. That's once.
Oh, Merthyr have lost it forward. Turnover of possession, but Pontypool have got a long way to go downfield still.
It's just that timing of delivery. That's twice we've seen it now. It's a combination of Louis Jones and Rees Downs as he's gone to pull away. Look, Jones has kept his hand on it. Down wants it. He's looking to pull it away.
To me, to you.
Yeah, it's twice we've seen it. It's just a communication thing. But you are again now
why does the clock need to be off?
handing possession back to this Pontypool team with a man up. With just over 3 minutes to play.
Under five. Under five.
We'll have a think about the man of the match in the next minute or so. Difficult decision with Merthyr having their noses in front.
Yeah, you're right, Nicholas. You are right.
Luckwell getting the back line moving. Oh, it's just a little bit too low and hard from Lewis.
It's been the story of a game for me. Passionate cup semi-final. Just from the accuracy of both teams. It's been left wanting just a tad. But the passion, the endeavour is there. They're looking to play to width nice and early. Just a nice little return ball. Busquera Walsh, she hasn't had too many attacking opportunities this game.
Well, Merthyr have battled their way through this cup competition, beating Aberafon 15-10, Ebbw Vale 10-9, Pontypool 20-11. Now 2 points ahead. Just over 2 minutes left.
Set. Space 9.
Phil Rees ploughing forward.
No hands white. No.
Merthyr
24. Okay.
Crashing and bashing.
Now. Release.
Ball up the jumper. Pods of forwards queuing up. Pontypool need a turnover. Sparks doing his best there. Downs out to Chris Phillips. Merthyr eating up these final seconds.
Yeah, they just need to make sure Merthyr they stay on their feet and arrive and clear out to allow a contest.
There's no match clock visible to players on the ground. But Merthyr know that time is on their side.
No hands.
Scott Matthews, gone against Scott Matthews. So frustrating though. You know exactly what Merthyr are doing. Rees Downs is really organising that particularly well. Nice narrow short passes, plenty of ball carriers and cleaners around them.
Scott Matthews, the Pontypool double try scorer, was in contention for man of the match as Gareth Davis blocks it into touch.
Yeah, he's seeing the referee Mike English in the ruck is already formed, which it is. There's already bodies around the ball. And it's just frustrating from Scott. Matthews' part.
8-1 black.
Your man of the match, Richie Rees.
Yeah, a couple of notable mentions from Pontypool. Matthew Lewis at 10, Scott Matthews at 6. They were their key players. But for me, it's got to go to Matthew Jarvis to nail that kick with a lengthy kick. He missed one, but he's taken the points when he needed. He's really orchestrated them from the backfield. You haven't seen him an awful lot, but he has been managing that game. So my man of the match is Matthew Jarvis.
Gareth Davis blasts it into the stand, and Merthyr are through to the Principality Stadium to defend their title. 20 points to 18. The final score. Let's hear from Phil Steele with that man of the match.
Match winner Matthew Jarvis, what was going through your mind with that penalty, particularly who's already missed one?
Well, yeah, you know, missed the first one, but just had to back myself in. A bit of a win, so if I struck it well, I knew it was going over. So
it looked like some cup tie. What was it like to play in?
His nip and tuck. Obviously, the red card didn't help us. We took a 14-0 lead, and in fairness, Pontypool, they're a good side to come back, and they didn't give up. And you know, that's credit to them. We knew it was going to be tough, and look, it was a classic semi-final cup tie, and we're glad to go through.
Cardiff in the final now. What are your thoughts?
Look, they're on good form, so well, we're nip and tuck at the top, so it's 1v2 in the stadium, and you know, a derby, so it should be interesting and should be a good game.
I've got to say, for the man who put over the winning kick in that cauldron, you're the coolest looking man in the stadium, not a head out of place there.
That's all right. Trying to look cool and good night. So.
Yeah. Cheers, Matthew. Have a good night.
Cheers. Thanks a lot.
I'm sure they will have a good night this evening, Merthyr. I'm sure they're going to be celebrating. So here we are then, confirmation of the games and the teams that have made it to finals day. Abergavenny, Oakdale in the bowl, Bonamine and Brecon in the plate, and in the cup we now know that Cardiff will go head-to-head with Merthyr. They're the top two in the Premiership, and they're the top two in the cup as well this season. Well, time for us to catch our breaths, I guess. What a semi-final. What a performance from both sides, to be fair, Ashton.
Yeah, definitely. They spoke about emotion before the game and heart and making the town proud themselves and their families. And Pontypool definitely did that. And Merthyr bounced back. You know, there was a lot of back and forth, and you know, it was an exciting end to the game.
It was indeed. Andrew, we'll get your thoughts in a minute. But first, let's hear what Dale McIntosh has to say.
Dale, I noticed at the end of the game there, the first thing you did was went over and said something to the Pontypool players. What was it you said?
Just hard lines, and I meant that with all the respect in the world. You know, they out there and they give everything, you know, they give everything for their club. They were admirable in everything they did, you know. There's no, excuse the analogy, you know, crap. They just went out there and played rugby and hard for each other. And, you know, yeah, they were one man up, but at the end of the day, you know, just huge accolades for Pontypool. They're a great club, you know. As I said in the commentary, a bit disappointed with the supporters because those players are good boys. The club's a great club. And we've got to respect the kickers, and we've really got to respect the game.
OK, now, from Merthyr's point of view, it was tough. You were a man down, but you still won. How did you win it?
Just blood and guts, you know. We knew what we had to do. I'm more pleased about why we won the game than how we won the game. Terry G's a great guy. He's been playing outstanding all year, and good grief, he is not a dirty player. The call was tough call, but look, it's their call to the letter of the law, as Sean said. Fair enough, okay. But we went out there and we won that game for Terry G, because Terry G, okay, is not a dirty player, and he was crying in the changing rooms, and we love him to death. So thank God we got through.
Cardiff in the final. What are your thoughts on that?
Oh, outstanding. They're going really, really well at the moment. We can play better than that as well. Few ordinary performances by some of the players. But in saying that, I guess Pontypool made us look ordinary, you know.
Well done on being such a good sport as always.
Thank you very much. Cheers.
Yeah, he sounds slightly relieved, I guess, but you've got to hand it to